Hello everyone. So good afternoon. Um, so over the past, I've had a few people who have got challenges with the airflow, especially the installation of airflow. So today in this video, I'm going to take you through the step-by-step manner in which you can be able to install Apache Airflow. So if you are new to this video, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So that being said, I want to just take you through. So I'll open a new folder so that we create an environment. So the first thing that actually you have to ensure, number one, you have to ensure that actually Docker is installed in your system. So one of the things that you'll actually must have is Docker installed in your system. You should have Python installed in your system. So I'm assuming that you already have those particulars installed in your system. So it's quite easier to actually install Docker. You just head over to the official webpage of the Docker, and then of course uh, you can just be able to install the Docker from the official webpage of the Docker, and then of course you can get started with the Docker. So of course you just go to the Docker desktop, so that you can actually be able to install the Docker and visit the Docker. So it's quite easy, it's quite simple. So I'll just open a new folder. Let me just go to my desktop. Then of course I'll just get to uh, open, let me just create a new folder here. Sorry, let me just create a new folder here, and I'll just name it Airflow tutorial. Then I'll just, after ensuring that I want to just open So if you want to actually ensure that you have Docker installed in your system and that Docker is actually there, so of course you can just go to your command line prompt, and in your command line prompt you can just be able to type on Docker, sorry, Docker um, version, yeah, Docker hyphen version. So you run that, you can be able to see that I have Docker in my system. Also, you ensure that you have also Docker import compose. So Docker hyphen compose hyphen version. So of course you can be able to see. Of course, I have the Docker compose version desktop, that one in my system. So of course I have those particulars. Um, So if you don't have those two installed, you can just be able to install those particulars. Okay. So once you have these particulars installed, we can now actually proceed to run the airflow in in our system. So of course, I've just navigated to the particular uh, uh, project, that basically directory that I'm actually working on, this particular directory that I'm actually working on. So the next thing that happens, I want to actually open VS Code in this particular folder. So if I want to actually open the VS Code, I'll just do code. So of course you can be able to actually use the command line, the CMD, to actually do this. So let me just open the VS Code. So the first thing that actually I want to open is, I want to actually ensure that I open my terminal. So of course I'll just go ahead and open my terminal. So Airflow itself, um, we need to actually run more than one container. So of course you can have the Docker compose as well. So we'll just go and get started with this. So we'll just go to the Airflow community in our browser so that, so I'll just say Airflow Docker, um, Docker, um, Airflow Docker documentation. Let me just try that. So of course, Airflow Docker documentation, I'll come here. Then of course, yes. So this particular is what actually is important. Running Airflow in Docker. Yeah. So how to run Airflow. So I'll just scroll down up to the point where I'll just come to running Airflow in Docker, this particular fetching Docker compose.yaml, yeah, this particular file. So when I come to the, this particular um, link, so I'll just get to this particular. So of course you can be able to see this particular command that we are going to use in the installation of Docker. So this particular command as it is, you cannot be able to use this command the way it is because this a particular command actually you can only be able to use it uh, in the Linux, yeah, in a Linux or maybe in a Mac system. But if you're in a Windows, you this option is actually not going to work. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this particular link. Yeah, then after copying it, this particular link URL. So in my terminal, I'm actually going to type curl, then I paste the particular URL that I'd actually given. Then I will give other options. So I'll just say um, or and then the particular file name that we want to be actually where I actually want the particular to be. So I'll just give the particulars as this way: docker compose dot YAML in that manner. Yes. So after giving that, I will run this particular. So when I run that immediately, you can be able to see it. It actually downloads for me my Docker compose YAML in this manner. Then the next thing that so of course I already have, you can be able to see all the details that are actually um, the particulars that are here, the image, yeah, all these particulars, yeah, the airflow environment which is actually there. We have got also the volumes, yeah. The left side you can be able to see these are the particular tags. The particular folders that are there, the tags, the logs, the config plugins, which are actually, these are the particulars which are actually there in the containers. So we need to have this particular directory. So of course I'll go ahead and close and actually create this particular folders. So I'll just go and say make the directory for the DAGs, yeah, DAGs in that manner. So of course you can see that goes ahead and creates for me the directory for the DAGs. I'll also need the directory for the logs. So I'll just see make directory for the logs in this manner. So of course you can be able to see this particular directory. So I'll run that. So that creates for me the directory for the logs. Then I also need to make the directory for the plugins. So I'll just say mkdir directory for the plugins in that particular manner or order. So I run that as well. That makes for me the directory for the plugins. So those are the directories that I actually need. So I've just created those particular directories. So so when you actually scroll down, you'll also be able to get to look at the particular services that are there, the Postgres, um, the Redis, yeah, yeah, those particulars. So those, yeah, um, so of course the health check as well, and those particulars that are there. So we need to actually run uh, the we'll just run our Docker. Of course, let me just go back and start my Docker so that of course I'll not get into any particular error. So just come to the Docker desktop. Let me just start my Docker so that of course it becomes quite easier for me as I'll be running that. Um, so resume. So I'll just go back to, let me just go back here. So I'll come here so that of course I can be able to make my initialization of the particular, the initialization. So of course I'll just say Docker compose app, um, Docker compose app, um, Docker compose app, Airflow init, Airflow init, yeah, so that I can be able to initialize my my Docker. So of course, let me just run that. Of course, this goes ahead and runs in that particular manner. Let's just give it time so that it can be able to finish. So of course, this would actually, it will take a while so that it can be able to create these particulars. Yeah. So so it will take some good time. So of course, let's just give it time so that it can be able to complete. So let's give it some time to be able to complete that. So of course, mine did just complete the particular. So the next thing that happens after the um, um, so actually we'll go actually and run uh, I'll need to go actually and start this particular services. Yeah. So in the admin. So of course, what I'll simply do is I will just go and start these services in this manner. So I'll just go ahead and say um, Docker uh, compose Docker compose app. Yeah. So let me run that so that of course I can be able to start to start the services. Yeah. So of course that goes ahead and starts the particular services. So of course it has gone ahead and created all those particulars. So of course if you get any particular warnings, just go ahead and ignore those particular warnings. Yeah. So of course that now starts. Yeah, our services of the airflow. So what happens is I will now, um, so I will just go ahead and open a new terminal so that of course I can go ahead and check if these particular services are up or not. So I'll just go ahead and say docker ps. So I'll give the docker ps command so that of course I can go ahead and check the particular services. So let me just run. So of course you can be able to see the services that were created, the particular services created in that manner. Yeah, the airflow, yeah, and so on. So of course those particular services have been created for me in that manner. So so all these particulars can be able to see they're up and running. So what happens? The next thing, I'll just come here, flow. So I will just come to my Airflow. Let me just check if actually that is working. So let me just come to the browser and open um, localhost port 8080. Let me see if that's running. Okay, it's not yet up, but I think the services are not yet fully up. So I'll just go ahead and Airflow is already running. So of course, let me just come back. Uh, also, okay, so let me just get back. I think it's not yet up. So let's just give it time so that of course it can be able to fully uh, create those particular the schedulers, all of them. Then let me just come back to Docker PS so that I can be able to see if all my particulars are up. Of course, I think all of them are now up. So of course, you can be able to see all those particular services are now up. So let me just go back again and so just 1 minute. Docker compose up. So all those particulars are running that manner. So let's just give it time to finish on that. The roles admin has been created. Okay, all those are up. All my services are now up, so of course, yes, it's running, everything is up well. Okay, so let me just go ahead and so let me come back to my the local host. Just 1 minute. So let me just go here and I will type the command here to look at. I think all the particulars have been um, are up and running. Let me just go to when I run my Docker. Just a minute. My Docker sorry, PS. I can be able to see. Oh yes, all my particular services, all these services are now up and they're running. So of course, let me just get to my browser again and see. Let me just try to local host port 8080. Let me run that. Of course, you can be able to see now I have gotten to the Airflow interface. So of course, I'll just Airflow and the password as well. Yeah, and the password. Then of course, I'll just sign in. So when I sign in, you can be able to see, of course, Airflow comes with all these particular examples that have actually been created for you in that manner. So that's actually how Airflow comes in that particular manner. So of course, with this, you can now go ahead and create new DAGs. So you'll just come and create your new DAGs in this particular folder. Yeah. So of course, when you come here, uh, you'll be able to see all the particulars. Of course, our DAGs is actually now healthy and it is running. It is running fine. Yeah. So of course, you can be able to come to all the particulars that are here. Data set schedules. Yeah. Can come to just a minute. Can come to the first DAG that you have here. You can be able to see and run all the particular DAGs that you have in that manner. Of course, you can be able to see if you want to get to look at yeah, the particulars that are actually created for you. You can be able to create new DAGs. Can be able to come and see all the particulars that are there in the DAGs file. So if you want to now stop, yeah, the particular the DAGs, yeah, or the Docker. So you can just come back to this, and then you will bring it down. So you just say Docker compose down. Yeah, Docker compose down. Yeah, and then of course you'll run that, so that of course that will stop for you the the services. It will come. It will actually bring the services to an halt. Yeah. So it will stop all the particular containers that are related to the airflow that basically were running. So let's just give it time to stop all those particular. So the Postgres, the Redis, yeah. So it stopped all of them. So that actually got executed for us. So if I just come back here, so you can be able to see exited with code 0, of course, exited with code 0. So when I come back now to my web interface, the user interface, yeah, let me try to refresh. So you can see now I don't get it because it's not running. I stopped the particular services that were there. So that's actually, if you want to rerun it again, you will just come and do your Docker Compose app. Then of course it will now, you will have now your Airflow service up and running in your machine. So that is all for this particular video. I hope this is helpful in getting started with them Apache Airflow. So thank you so much everyone for watching. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel to support this kind of content. Bye bye everyone. Thanks.